Back here at home this Super Bowl weekend, the first one ever in New Jersey, should have been a triumph for Governor Christie, but instead he's facing a fresh and potentially devastating, really, new twist in that Bridgegate scandal. A top lieutenant says the governor knows more than he's letting on, and he has evidence to prove it. ABC's Rena Ninan is on the story. Rena, good morning.
Hi, good morning. You're right, Dan. This should have been the weekend of the Super Bowl for Christie, a moment for the host New Jersey governor to shine. Instead, this morning, it's unclear if the September lane closure of the George Washington Bridge will force Christie to the exit ramp onto the boulevard of broken presidential dreams.
Governor Christie's former right-hand man at the Port Authority now says the governor lied about what he knew about the closing of the GW Bridge and when he knew it. David Wildstein is Christie's high school friend and former aide who oversaw the lane closings. He says Christie was well aware of the snarled traffic on the nation's busiest bridge. Wildstein's attorney previously offered to spill the beans in exchange for immunity. In a letter acquired by ABC News, the lawyer writes, evidence exists tying Mr. Christie to having knowledge of the lane closures during the period when the lanes were closed. An allegation Christie staunchly denied during a 2-hour press conference 3 weeks ago.
I had no knowledge of this, of the planning, the execution, or anything about it. And then I first found out about it after it was over.
Governor, thank you for being here tonight. All praise from New Jersey.
Christie seen here Friday night on stage at radio shock jock Howard Stern's birthday party in Manhattan. His office continued the denial, stating the governor has absolutely no prior knowledge of the lane closures. But will there be others who come forward? Noticeably silent, Christie's deputy chief of staff, Bridget Ann Kelly, fired when her emails alluded to closing down the bridge in political retaliation. And Christie's former campaign manager is pleading the fifth.
This is really a story about people being vested with certain authority and abusing it and coming up with a cover story and spending quite a bit of time and resources to do that.
Meanwhile, Republican fundraisers for Christie are planned in 6 major states in the coming months. At the birthday party last night, Christie was introduced Bon Jovi. It doesn't get more New Jersey than that. But New Jersey's largest newspaper, the Star-Ledger, is calling for him to resign as governor if these allegations are true, Dan and beyond.
That editorial was really tough. I read it.
Scathing, yeah.
Thank you, Rena. Let's pick up on that point now with ABC News political analyst Matt Dowd. Matt, good morning. So we've talked about Christie for many years now as a possible presidential contender. Is he possibly in danger of losing his presidential hopes and his current job?
Well, I'm no rocket scientist, as you know, but that is not good PR in my book when you look at those headlines. I think his chances now of being president of the United States are about the same as Amanda Knox taking a vacation in Italy. They're about the same thing. And so I think the question now becomes, can he survive his office? I think there's still you still have to argue over the tenses of his words, which is never a good situation to be in. But here's a guy, this tells you, but was the preseason pick to be the Republican nominee for president, and now it's a question whether or not he can even retain his office through the course of this.
Oh, it's quite a shift, there's no question. But in his defense, we haven't seen the evidence, the purported evidence from his former top lieutenant. Isn't that really what we need to look for here?
No, obviously, this is all going to keep unfolding. And ever since his press conference, all of us have said, basically, if all of the evidence backs up what he says in what he said in his press conference, he'll be fine. If there's any divergence from it, he has a huge problem. What we've seen yesterday and today, there is beginning to seem some divergence from what he said at his press conference and what is actually coming out. And we're going to have all these hearings in New Jersey over the course of the next weeks and months. There's investigations. We're going to keep learning more and more. But if it keeps diverging, it's becoming more and more problematic for him to continue to be governor.
So many more shoes to drop on this. Matt Dowd, really happy to have you here this morning. Thank you.